What if I told you that behind the muscles, the pyro, and the larger-than-life entrances, WU has been held together for decades by pure chaos and accidental comedy? We're talking about moments so ridiculous that if they weren't witnessed by the wrestlers themselves, nobody would believe them. Today, we're diving into the funniest WWE stories ever, the kind that happen backstage, on the road, and sometimes right in the middle of a live broadcast. Let's start with the master of intimidation, the Undertaker. His character was so convincing that he legitimately terrified grown men. There's a legendary story of him walking down a hallway backstage, and a younger wrestler, so petrified that the dead man was haunting the building, took off in a full sprint and ran directly into a wall. It only gets wilder from there. Take Brock Lesnar, a man built like a final boss. During one match, his opponent was down, selling an attack for dear life. Brock, apparently forgetting the match was still happening, casually leaned on the ropes and started discussing his dinner plans with the referee. The ref had to remind him, "Hey Brock, you're still wrestling." And you can't talk about WWE chaos without mentioning the boss, Vince McMahon. Imagine being in a dead silent corporate meeting and Vince lets out a sneeze so powerful it sounds like a firework. Everyone just freezes. Nobody knew if they were allowed to laugh or if they'd be fired on the spot. This is the same man who, during the 2005 Royal Rumble, got so angry that he stormed the ring, slid under the ropes, and tore both of his quadriceps muscles. Instead of stopping the show, he just sat there on the canvas, screaming instructions like an injured emperor refusing medical help. It's one of the most bizarre and unintentionally hilarious moments in wrestling history. Speaking of Rumbles, remember when John Cena made his surprise return from injury? The shock in the arena was electric, but in the ring, half the wrestlers were so stunned they completely forgot to react. They just stood there motionless like background characters glitching in a video game. It was a legendary pop from the crowd, met with a legendary botch from the performers. Then there's Kane. His entire gimmick was pure terror. But backstage, he once accidentally set his own gear on fire. Instead of panicking, he calmly walked over to a group of people, still wearing his mask, and just asked for a fire extinguisher as if he were asking for a bottle of water. The visual of this demonic monster casually dealing with a small fire is just peak WWE absurdity. Let's talk about The Rock, the master of the microphone. He once cut a promo so savage that the live crowd was laughing nonstop. His opponent was supposed to have a rebuttal, but was so thrown off by the verbal beatdown that he completely forgot his lines. The arena fell into an awkward silence, which The Rock immediately filled by roasting the silence itself. He turned a dead moment into pure gold. And you can't have comedy without Stone Cold Steve Austin. He treated workplace professionalism like a gentle suggestion. One night, he decided to prank Kurt Angle by filling his signature cowboy hat with beer, milk, and whatever other random liquids he could find. He then watched to see how long Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, would wear it before noticing something was wrong. But that's not even the funniest Kurt Angle story. This is the same decorated athlete who once got into a storyline where he chased a tiny cowboy hat around the ring as if it were the most prestigious championship in the world. The commitment was incredible. Tag team legends Edge and Christian turned their backstage antics into an art form. They were notorious for making prank calls to other wrestlers' hotel rooms at 3 a.m., pretending to be room service or hotel management. One story goes that a wrestler, convinced there was a problem, opened his door in full gear, ready to fight absolutely nobody. The chaos wasn't limited to America. In Japan, there's a famous restaurant called Ribera Steakhouse. If you eat there, you can get a coveted satin jacket. These jackets became such a status symbol that wrestlers would fight harder to get one than they would for some championships. To this day, veterans brag about how many Ribera jackets they own like their Hall of Fame rings. And then there's the universal wrestler experience of being on the road. Imagine a whole convoy of cars, full of the toughest athletes on the planet, all following the wrong car for miles down a highway because nobody wanted to be the one to admit they were lost. It's a humbling reminder that even giants get turned around. The ring itself has been a stage for incredible comedy. Shawn Michaels was once on the receiving end of a move from Hulk Hogan and decided to sell it so dramatically, flopping around like a fish out of water, that even the referee broke character and started laughing. On the flip side, you have The Miz. Early in his career, he was famously kicked out of the locker room for eating chicken over another wrestler's bag. He had to change in the hallway like a grounded child. Years later, he became WWE champion, a comeback story he never lets anyone forget. But perhaps no one embodies lovable confusion more than R-Truth. He seems to live in a universe slightly to the left of our own. He has asked John Cena for advice on how to be more like John Cena while standing right next to him. He's confidently entered the wrong matches, challenged for the wrong titles, and confused entire storylines with such conviction that fans and wrestlers alike are never sure if it's an act or just his lifestyle. He's a comedic genius. Sometimes the props themselves create the comedy. You have tables that refuse to break no matter how hard someone is slammed through them. Ladders that collapse at the worst possible moment. Pyro that goes off too early, scaring the soul out of the wrestler whose entrance it was supposed to enhance. There was even a time a hot mic caught two wrestlers arguing mid-match about who messed up a spot, turning a dramatic fight into unintentional reality TV. And that's the secret of WWE. For every legendary match, for every emotional moment, there are dozens of stories where the toughest people on the planet are just trying not to laugh, break character, or completely lose their minds. It's a world built not just on strength and spectacle, but on human chaos, backstage pranks, and moments so funny. They remind us that behind every superhero entrance is a locker room full of people, just trying to survive another day without cracking up on live television. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know your favorite funny WE moment in the comments below. See you next time.